I have made it to the computer and I'm working on figuring out what exactly I'm doing. I was thinking about the fact that I mentioned yesterday. I'm looking for some quest starters in like the ruins, not the ruins, I'm sorry, and the down below and vermin's and all that. And I'm looking onto it to make sure I have them all. So I was thinking, maybe I do that this morning. I can just start with the down below and then go down level by level and make sure I got all that. Seems like a good thing to do while I have a few slots open in the journal. So I'm going to start with this here, which is, of course, right on below. I'm going to filter it, and what I want is just basically the quest starters. I'm going to click quest update too, because sometimes they show up as that. I'm going to click quest, and then I'm going to go with that. First, we've got this stack of books. Alright. Let's see. Have I done the stack of books? This is a stack of books. Nothing looks particularly interesting, but there may be a few volumes that pique your interest. So we're going to click The Flight of the Crow. The book is titled The Flight of the Crow. It has no author. A thick, complex-looking lock binds it. There's an image on the book of an eye. Forming a circle around the eye is a band formed of open hands. There seems to be a small note written on it in dark ink, as if written recently. I say inspect the recent writing. They're at noon, taking coin. Hunt them down and get them at all costs. And I'll stop inspecting. I think that's the starter quest for the access. Or the starter, for the access quest too. A zone, crow's nest. Now, next, what do we got here? It sent me here. That's a racial thing. But frog looks, that's not helpful for us. Alright, that's quest update. This is a quest starter, but that's an intriguing eye, Flight of the Crow. Same quest as that one over there. That's Valian's Stolen Books. So that's an update. Okay, so this is Defiled Drum over here. So you can find, as I recall, Drum's bones, but we'll go over and have a look. Same in one of those little alcoves. There we are. I've obviously already done it, so I cannot interact with it. Alright. This is part of a hidden quest. Maybe sometime I'll show you that. That's an ancient sector. Alright. So, I can safely say that I've done all the quests in this place. Next is going to be Vermin's Snag. Check down there, see if we're missing anything else. I think we can safely say that I've gotten all of the static clickies available to me in the down below. Moving down. Alright, here we are, and let's start with the bedroll. Bedroll starts the quest. Rats. What rats? Rats? What rats, more accurately? No, here it is. Examine pallet. You find a rolled leather sleeping pallet. Unroll pallet. After unrolling the pallet, you see that it is completely ruined, having been chewed through by what was probably a very big rat. As you look around, you will also notice large rat droppings all over the area. Someone should do something about these rats, and exterminate the rats. So, first one we tried, it did not happen. Alright, I'm pretty sure I got the Ravenous Cubes quest already, but let's find out. I haven't spent as much time in the sewers as I normally do. This is the box right here. It's right there. That would give you 1 to kill Ravenous Cubes. Apparently I've already done it. Let's see what we've got here. Bloodsaber Raid. That's the painting. Pretty sure I've done that, but I'll make sure. This is an update painting. This is a starter painting. So, I'll come over here, and of course it's the same painting. It is not clickable, so you have already done that. Now, that's an update place. And that's an update, Scepter of John Ray. This is... okay, Triller Catcher. Let's see if I have that in. It looks like I do. This would light up otherwise. The wardrobe. So I already have that one. Let's try this EverQuest over here. I'm supposed to slay some large team vermin, so I suppose I should keep my eye out for that. I don't think these regular size ones would count. It specifies large, and so it's probably talking about the ones around AMI or the rat team. But let's kill one just to see. Does not update. Did not think it would. Didn't have a feather. Isn't large. You know, all those things. Alright, so we come in here and check out the urn, and it looks like I must have already gotten that because it's not lighting up. And Zane is the other one. It's important to get the quest from Zane because he gives you the quest. Well, okay, it's not important. It's if you get the quest to Zane, he gives you access to the backdoor of Ruins of Varsoon. Mind you, I don't think that you need the access anymore, so it's not as important as all that. But it's a decently long quest line. You know, you run hither and yon, and then it ends up, if you've done all of his quests, then you can get a quest from the sage in South Mage Tower. These are the large vermin we're looking for. And anyway, that is how you ultimately get the Robe of Life and Death, which is a neat robe. And I wore it as my appearance had on my conjure for a very long time. Because it is a cool little robe. And not just everyone has it these days, because, again, a lot of people, I don't know if they know where it comes from or how to get it. And it starts with Zane. So we're going to clear out all of these twin vermin that are in this room. Even the little ones. And then when we come back this direction, probably we can finish off, or at least make good progress on this quest. Because there can be tomb vermin, large tomb vermin that spawn in this room. Let's see if there are any others on shop. I'm not sure that they would be. So, Now we're going to go ahead on to the Crypt of Betrayal because I'm not sure. Like I said, there's a high chance that I haven't gotten all of the static starters there. Pretty sure I did this. This was for the passage to the Isle of Zek, and it's actually it's a step in the quest rather than a starter. But the one over here right by him is a starter. So this is the coffin right here for spare parts, and then this is a plank of wood that will give you a quest. The hidden wanted poster. If you didn't already have it. Then we have stolen bones over here. Why it wants me to go up, I know it's coming. Alright, so it would be in this alcove here to the bottom left. Stolen bones. I've obviously already done that one. While I'm on this side of the world, I should go and check this. Actually, I know that I've already done this one. It's a candle. It's the one on the far right of the grouping of them, and it's just a single candle that you have to mouse over. And I just did that one the other day. That's where the assassins spawn right there for the reaching blade. Okay, this is an update for the Swords of Destiny, which is of no relevance right now. We've got this over here. Okay, candelabra. Let's check that out. I'm pretty sure that I already have that. But you know what? Let's go find out. May as well. So it seems like I have done most of these. So far I've gotten one of them that I hadn't done yet. Candelabra in question is right here. Again, it won't light up because I've already done it. That's where it is. Alright, we got this over here. Statue right there. The statue radiates an ominous force. You feel compelled to touch it. So touch the statue. As you touch the statue, your mind is filled with a voice that says, destroy the Ire Minions and use their hate to strengthen your knowledge of battle. Alright, so it's to kill 20 Ire Minions. Fight the Ire Minions. So I hadn't gotten that one yet. That makes 2 quests so far in the series that I haven't gotten. This spawns Isizor the Insane, which are on 2 wrongs. Don't make a right. It's a little skeleton in the alcove here. It's right here, and I believe this one is actually also in the bottom left, but I cannot recall for sure. Like, when you're facing the right-hand wall on the bottom left. Should probably go ahead and clear out all of these, because that's where we're going to find the Ire Minions in these alcoves. And I guess that's everything. So I was missing a couple of quests. I didn't realize I was missing that many. But they should be very easy to finish, and you know, knock that out. And there's a simple clock in there. Between that room there. And if we click that, it's just a markable item. And I'm going to go on back to the beginning just to hit that alcove over there and get that item in. Because, yeah, I definitely need to get 20 of them. And it won't really take very long, as I mentioned. On the one hand, yeah, you do have to kill them, and it takes a minute, but on the other hand, it's not really that. It doesn't take that long. And the Ire Minions will be in pretty much every one of these alcoves. Spectre of Ire is in this one, which is why we have this strange grouping of them. He can spawn anytime that the Ire Minions respawn, and he's needed for at least a couple of different quests, but he's a pretty common spawn. He's a named, but he's not like a normal name because you can have multiple versions of him up at once. Already at 7 out of 20. It's interesting that once again there's an allusion to these skeletons eating the PCs in this game, because one of them goes like, "Great, that's what's for dinner." And then we've got this guy, and he says, "I'm glad you're here. I'm starving." Like, okay, so the skeletons are definitely eating the people in this game. Now, is it only the brains that they're eating? Because the one is, talking about brains, so it's just like a zombie thing. What's weird is, the zombies, I don't think the zombies are talking about eating brains. So it's just like these skeletons going around just ravenously hungry for, I don't know, possibly onion brains, possibly more than that. It's hard to say. It's strange. That's all I'm saying. I feel like it's more of a zombie thing. I'm not sure why it's a skeleton thing. Definitely a different take on the situation. I don't know that the skeletons are going to get much out of the whole eating thing, you know? Pretty sure it's just going to fall on through and nothing doing there. I'm not sure what they're going to get out of it. But what do I know? Maybe they have to eat in order to maintain their unaliveness, you know? Stop eating and then just pop out with skin and stuff. Who knows? Or whatever they are. You can't necessarily use. Some of them have horns and things like those guys. Believe it or not, there's even some Ire Minions up at the northeastern area where the good saviors are. Well, this is where you have the option for one of two ways. As you can see, both of them travel around to the same place ultimately. So, let's go this way first. Now, I'm going to go this way at all, because I'm just going to traverse the circle basically. So we come out here and get these Ire Minions. And by the time I'm done with these guys, the ones here to start should have already moved on. And so, I can make my way back that way after these guys. This is the last set of them in this direction. He says I cannot put out his fire, but I think he's probably wrong here. In this instance, his words are incorrect. And now back we go. I suppose I can go ahead and put Iron that way if they would pop earlier than I expect them to. When in prep, there are some already on trot. Which begs the question of if I didn't go this direction, if maybe I didn't make this circuit the first time. It's a possibility. I feel like that's probably what happened. Probably just didn't go that direction. Because I don't think that they would have really popped over here yet. I was trying to think of where to get the Minotaur lore and legend yesterday, and I kind of think that the Minotaur lore and legend isn't actually in the game yet, and that's why we're not getting any pieces dropping anything from them either, because it's not part of the game. I think it might come out with Echoes of Hardware. I don't see any other Ire Minions on track all the way, then I'm going to go ahead and pop back over to Vermin and get those large tomb vermin, and then come back, which is what it looks like to happen. I know that the Ire Minions are going to be repopping very soon, but there's no need to hang around waiting for them. When I can just go get those large tomb vermin and come back. Easy peasy. Let's see, we are here, and we need to be up there. There's Lupo the Tortured as we run by. Alright, let's see. I think we're going to go over here. No, there's a lot of regular tomb vermin in trap, but most of those are just wandering around in the hallways. And I just missed my turn. Don't more run. There's a couple of the tomb vermin. We need 9 more in total. And we'll kill the large ones first. And see if we have enough to finish this quest off. If we do, it's phenomenal. Looks like Thermal is there. I'd like to kill the ones that are not attached to her first, in case there's enough here. There's not there, unfortunately. It doesn't look like it. I would avoid killing her if I could, because she is a quest update. And, so I prefer not killing her, so that she'll be there in case anybody needs her. But I'm one short. To tell you what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to kill one, and then I'm going to run the other ones off. There we go. And then we're going to head this way, and I may as well pop in on that side while I'm nearby. That'll get these rats off of me, and also it will bring me to this side of the Ire Minion situation here. Don't know that there will be any popped up over here yet. We'll make our way back. We have some on track now. Very nice. And there was Troyson. He's a named Minotaur. only need 6 more of the Ire Minions, so that should happen in this repop of them. I feel like he was probably threatening me. These skeletons down here kind of all talk a big talk. You know, you stoke the warm flames, you play with your flesh. You know, they're very, I don't know. They're still laughing, but I feel like they're less jovial than the ones in the Thundering Steps. A little more menacing. Both of them are telling me simultaneously how play with my flesh. Surely if two say it, it must mean it's true, right? I noticed just now with some degree of dismay that I don't have any of my poison training. It's quite unfortunate. Those are apothecary ones. I just read the regular ones right now. Even more distressing, they appear to be out of my purple poisons. I don't really have any interest in using the blue ones if I don't have, any real need to. I do want to use the damage ones, though, the red ones. This ought to be the last one of these guys that I need. I've slain the Ire Minions and felt that I have learned quite a bit from fighting them. I'll accept that. Alright, so now I think it's safe to say I've completed all of the static quests in the Crypt of Betrayal and in the vermin and then down below. So, Keno's sewers covered in that regard. Wonderful. Back up to vermin. Let's see. That didn't take long at all. Oh, let's go. Where shall I go? Definitely go back into the city. Not gonna pop by the bank and the vendor while I'm there. Seems like a good idea. Oh, accidentally clicked the repeat club. Didn't mean to go that direction, but that's okay. May as well grab some shinies and whatnot on my way out of here. Sometimes there's a shiny over in this area, you know those. And then we can level it up. So, here we are. Now we can stop by here and see about selling some things to this guy later. Yeah, let him hand the lady talk. There you go, fella. Something else you put to me. Let's check and see. No, he doesn't have anything. He has a market for it to do. Yeah, if you're in the market, I guess, the husband. She doesn't sell anything different. So that, you know, what I really want is work order stations for our guild hubs. That would be what I would want to find on the hub side eventually, but I don't know when that was intended. It might be Echoes of Paper that stuff comes out. I'm not really sure. I'm definitely going to try to remember to check when Echoes comes out. Remind me, because, you know, you may forget.
Please tell me you're
See
not trying
about
to get
run
along with
some of
livestock
this
collateral.
into this. And between here. So don't necessarily need to be carrying around. Guess I can go right into the fourth box though. I'm getting quite a collection of these. I don't know if they'll ever be useful at all on this server. Probably not. But at one time, when this game was, you know, in this Kingdom of Sky expansion came out, if you pre-released it, you know, if you pre-ordered it correctly, you could get a carnivorous plant. And so you could feed those bones, fertilizers, and liquids to the carnivorous plant and get various rewards for that. Now, obviously, that won't be something, you know, that they would have in the server, but maybe we may implement something. We could implement something. I should have put that implement too, actually. Anyway, they could implement something to use those items with. Later on live, they'll come out with the badger. Who you can trade in those items to and get collectibles in return.
Please tell me you're not trying to get
Which is
along
also
with
cool.
livestock collateral.
I've decided to just start putting more status point items into the bank and stacking them up and then taking them out all at once at some point instead of having to keep going and taking up all that weight in my bags and then taking them out, with little stacks to everybody. It makes more sense to just get big stacks and take them all at once. And I did check yesterday on the Mysterious Dagger, and it still does not update, unfortunately. Let's see what else I have. I know I have stuff in Neck Castle, but if I go in there, I'm gonna be locked out of there. So I'd rather not go in until I'm ready to finish as much of it as possible, which would not be right now. I also don't want to do the Tombs of Matter anymore until I can do it with Jericho, because I know he's going to want to do it. So maybe the right answer is to go back to Rivervale and very slowly work on those quests. In which case, I will take this little shortcut, hopping over to the Sundered Split Pop. Alright. Pick an easy place to get to the vending steps from. I think that I've finished the Mysterious Dagger Quest, but you know what? I actually didn't. I think I didn't. It's been shop in the Red Forest. Yeah, okay. I didn't finish that. I still have 2 left. So, good news. I'm over in Mysterious Dagger area. So some of those kills, if possible. And, okay, got one of the updates right there. Very nice. Very nice. Unexpectedly so. Let's see. Yeah, there's quite a few up right now. Oh, nice. Some poor souls piping over here, trying to harvest some abbots. That one over there on the rocks is a common one. And I think he's the last possible one. Let's make sure. No, there's 2 more, that's good. Alright, so Steel Hoof Marauder it is. Maybe we can get our update. No, no luck. And so, now we're left with this guy here, who is a are heroic. The rest of them are non-heroic. So this one just takes as long to kill as all of the rest of them did, plus probably a little bit more. Because he brings a friend along. There's his friend right there. I'm really not interested in his buddy here, so when I kill him, I think I'll just run off the other guy. Or, you know what, I'll just feign. Unfortunately, even with that many, there's um, no update. That's a shame. We got one update out of the 5, I think, marauders that were up total, maybe 4. There were initially 4 on track. Yeah, maybe they're only 4 that we had. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. There were only one update. There's been one update now. Unfortunate. But I think I'm gonna move on. I'll be in the solo again soon enough, I'm sure. No need to wait around on repops. I will just go on to, I think, you know what, I should have just escaped to the docks during that fight. Saving myself 2 minutes running around and the usage of a feigned death, but alas, that's not what I did. So, here we are. Let's check the render just in case. Always a good idea to check the render. And look at that. Unexpectedly, I needed to know. Alright. On to Night Forest and then to Enchanted Lands, so I can get over to Rivervale and hopefully find a few things to update some quests. I don't have high hopes about updating them much because most of the stuff there is seemingly deadly, but maybe I can find a few things. And if on the way you run across some shinies, I'm not averse to that either. No luck in the shinies thing. Oh. The deputy and I just ran directly into each other. Alright, now we have 10 collective thieves to find. If we can find some non-red dark flights, which are the fairies, that would be super cool. I doubt that's gonna happen, honestly. Got one collective thief in track at the moment. This guy's a brigand, and that guy's a brigand. And we don't like the brigands because they are nasty little dudes to death. I guess I better put the pedal to the metal here because they've slowed me. There we go. That's more like it. Alright now. Probably the cryptic thief in question then is going to be behind all the other shopkeepers. Because I didn't see him up front. And there's always one kind of lurking back behind the building. There's one right there. And it looks like I need 7 more counting this one. So there's that. I don't have any more on track right now. But if we run along over here, there might be some. Might not. Oh, it's a deputy market back there. But there's also a crate of salted minnows, which I need. So, crate has the name Fool's Code Tablet on. Okay. Interesting. Let's grab this fisherman market. I cannot remember what quest he's for. I remember having to go get markets near the one at some point. Let's see if we can find any less dangerous Nightbloods over here. Doubt. Well, okay, there's always a few. Now, I may have finished the one with the salted minnow crates. I think actually, that's shaky. At the farm, the bandits, brigands, backlight fairies, Ire Minions, regular Nightbloods, and Nightbloods. So, okay. Now, I have to be careful because the undertow guys can see through this. Undertow puppet. I should be getting close, well, to the north, which is actually where I need to be because I need to get the Nightbloods if possible. And there are tons of undertow puppets in tracking. I like that up there. That looks good to me. The question was, can I get over to them very easily? Probably what I'm gonna have to do is at my new house use undertow puppets. The biggest thing with them is that they stifle you. Just all the time. Stifles and inflicts damage, it's damage over time, and a stifle. It's just nasty. Don't like it. And they have a tendency to do this thing where they pile up on you like this. And unless you can burn them down pretty quickly, they can become a real problem. I'm surprised that that one didn't put on me. Pleasantly surprised. Might put you for him across the level, possibly. Just a time. Got an issue. I don't know if I have. I'm not like new emotion, but I think I've already done the language of this food. Yeah. Don't have it. Again, it's one of those things that I feel like they may have added. They may have added it, I'm not sure. Or, well, I imagine that much stuff. Look at these pressing things. Actually, the only language I still have right now, the only language quest I'm still working on, is the one for the Zealot. Oh, that was new. I don't know if that. I ought to find village first, because undertow puppets can see through, so just don't know if there's much point to it. That there's another guy over here. Don't think I need any of the Evan stone jumps. Let's make sure I'm inviting my dongle can just, yeah, get a little bit. Uh-oh, that's a problem. And the crow puppets, you're just a minister. You're ongoing long 99 business and doing that season while you're in a cart. Not only that, everything else right there. Also submissive. And the undertails on me again. I'm going to run around up here. So the other guys don't know where I am. So keeping distance from those guys. They can see a good little ways. And the puppets. So we haven't gotten much in the way of updates, but we've gotten some things. A few that are only Well, I may as well head back over and check on the elected groups because most of the guys are good to go. Better also see if I've started on quests through. For the most part, I think I can probably remove the quest updates that are on track from the map. So I just see the quest starters, but I'm not 100% sure because sometimes they'll be marked as quest updates when in fact they're quest starters. Pretty sure I didn't get the pump over there, for instance. Let's filter those off though for now, so we can just see the starters. I'm not sure. This is the uh-oh. That one can see through. Yep, no bueno. I don't know. Okay. If I can feign, I'll do that. Decreases strength and agility of target them down by 40. So much. Man. Huge percentage. I'm not lost quite a while. We've still got 30 seconds left on. So, can I get that in? Right now. I probably ought to go around all of the areas that I've out-leveled and make sure that I do quest establishment like I did with the, like I did earlier with the sewers. Because, as with the sewers, I know that I'm missing some here and there. I just picked up what I ran across as I was going along. Wasn't really that concerned about it. If this guy wandered away, I'd be able to pick this. If he doesn't, if it's still nuzzling, you get it. Giving a moment to wander a little further. Okay, that's as far as he's going to anyway. Maybe I could get over here. I think he's still going to see me probably, but we'll try. Yep, he sees me, that's okay. Find a water pump with a tag attached to it. Read tag. The tag reads out of order. Blame the undertow puppets if you don't like it. Seeking out the undertow puppets may be a challenge, but it may be worth the effort. So what we need now is corrupted thieves. One on track. Right back here. And there was one over at the area we were just at as well. Oh, and there's one right up there as well. Looks like we have an ad vermin. And white vermin then. Oh yeah, we don't want those guys. Or that brigand. We got both. So, run that behind the buildings. Something over here. This is where I want to be. Except into a move press because I'm having a little lag. Gonna wait for some of those detriments. What time's just low? This trucking down. We have to take a shower and eat. Cleaning day. So, we got the detriments off. So, let us get this corrupted. There we go, 7 out of 10 of those guys. So we got the pump. Oh, goodness, there's the learning that you Nightbloods. I should have already gotten it. Didn't even think about it. Well, I did think about it. I didn't even think about it being in game yet. I wasn't sure if it was or not. How am I doing this exactly? I'm doing wrong. So I got here that's a corrupted seamstress. I hate the corrupted seamstress. There's strange tailor in there that I've seen. Try to tell me, it's just not nice. No, we're ready to launch to tailor. I just think the non-legend pick. Right here. Alright, now we're running it. Still have a little bit of a head start on you, so we'll probably make it. After this, I'm going to have to grid off because we've got to do a whole lunch thing. It's a Saturday, which is a day that I eat kind of a brunch lunch with some people. So I will read this first and get the quest. What do we got here? The Nightblood by Trini Minucius. My teacher told me to write a research paper about Nightbloods, as if I've ever seen one. Anyway, this is my research into the Nightblood. Some of my students are less inclined to take their research seriously. It follows as an example of the most poorly written report I've ever seen in my years as an instructor. Miss Minucius is not only a half-elf, but evidently a half-wit. Please consider this more of a paper on how not to write an in-depth study. Nightbloods are really very unfortunate and misunderstood. A lot of people think they're manifestations of evil and get very scared thinking about them. But I like to think of your average Nightblood as a big, overgrown bull that kind of breathes flames, but not really. There, doesn't that make you think of them differently already? Well, alright, maybe that was a bit much. Nightbloods are pretty creepy. They aren't from our world at all, so that makes them doubly creepy. It's as if somewhere there's a something that we can't see but the Nightbloods can, and they're taking advantage of this to travel around. If that doesn't give you the creeps, I don't know what will. The first confirmed sighting of Nightblood was only about 50 or 300 years ago, or so, give or take. These paladins were locked in battle with some kind of elemental, and suddenly, poof! Right out of the air came these big, broad-shouldered beasts with horns curving around the tops of their heads. It must have been a pretty scary sight. Anyway, so one paladin turns to one of the others and says, "Lo, run to Lord Vale and tell him of this fell beast who had awoken from his foul sleep." I guess they talked like that a lot back then. The other paladins didn't want to run. They wanted to stay and fight. They could feel what the only survivor later said was something like waves of heat and evil from this creature. These paladins had with them a squire, or a knight, or something else, and so they told him to get away and tell Lord Vale while they stayed to fight this thing. So the squire or whatever took off running. He stopped at the top of a hill, or the end of a bridge, depending on where you've heard the story, only to see the beast totally wipe out the paladins with a pretty awesome incantation. The squire ran and ran back to Kinos and did not stop till he got to tell his story directly to Lord Vale. In fact, this kind of long-distance run turned into a big annual event across Corona to commemorate this event. So that means this had to have happened a very long time ago. Anyway, Lord Vale sent out 50 of his bravest warriors who found the beast and slew it before it could regain its strength from casting their spells. If you ask me, that's putting a lot of weight to that one story, but that's what I learned as the origins of Nightblood. Only it's not really about the Nightblood, is it? Let me see, I'm sure there's more. Oh, did I mention it's evil? Since that first Nightblood, however, many years ago, there have certainly been a lot more of them in real life. No one knows if this is because of all the unrest after the shattering that made more of these hidden paths that the Nightbloods travel through, or if there's something else that's stirring them up. These things apparently aren't afraid of anything, and will attack whatever they find in their way. If you are unfortunate enough to get close to one, listen to its voice. It has a really odd way of speaking, almost as though it doesn't know how to talk at all. Now, that means to me that it's stupid. But my teacher says that it means instead that we simply do not know what language it is using. Whatever. In any case, some of these things do learn to speak properly and carry on a good conversation before they rip the person they're speaking with to shreds. So that's all there is to know about Nightbloods. I guess the main thing to remember is you don't want to meet up with one. If you see one, don't stop to talk with it. Run. The end. Teacher's note. Trini, come see me immediately about this paper. Alright, so there you go. Now we know all about Nightbloods. Alright, so that was a good one to pick up for sure. Let's see. I couldn't get these guys earlier because there were, I don't know, I think there was a Lemmy right inside the door, as I recall. Not great. I have adventures with Jorbo and Rappy. I think I have the lapse. I may not have studied it yet. Let's see. I do have it. Slot 12. I may not have started it. Let's see what we got here. While Norath's inhabitants tried to piece together their lives in the aftermath of the Age of War, other forces were at work that would ultimately change the face of the world. Every day they considered themselves fortunate. Although Rivervale and the Misty Thicket had been overrun by the hordes of the Inferno during the Age of War, the occupation was a relatively short one. Rebuilding commenced before the last mound of dead orcs and goblins had finished smoldering. The ruddy-eyed goblins, what was left of them anyway, were sent sniveling back to their cabins. The halflings looked forward to an age of peace. So, I have started that quest. Great. So I think I have all the things from there right now. Then we've got a vengeful opportunity. I don't think that I have that one yet. So that may be the last clickable quest starter here for me to grab. I do need to run and get some food. I've got to meet up with folks soon, but I think I can go and get this corrupted thief first. There he is. Ah. Unfortunate that I can't pay attention to the rabbit hound first. It's actually a cup for him. Eight out of 10 of those guys. Of course, when we read the next page, we may very well need another 10 of them. Who knows? These book quests are kind of like that. Now, we've got to be careful because we don't want to get the corrupted brigand. We do want to get the corrupted thief. So, I'm going to try to body board the thief all by himself without his bandit or brigand friend. Actually, I only need one more. So maybe I go ahead and get that real quick before I run. And then, when I'm late to my lunch thing, I'll just explain that it's actually the corrupted thief's fault. And ultimately, Jorbo and Nappy's. Pretty sure that's the way this goes, right? I won't be about that. Fortunately, when the corrupted thieves show up, they die pretty quickly. It doesn't look like any are up right now. Got that deputy Moffat over there. But there's normally one up in this area here. And often he hangs out right over here behind this building. So I'll camp over here, and then he may just there he is now. It's just slightly too early for him. So we'll get him and we'll read the next page. There we go. Jordo and Nappy. Somewhere. Oh, there we go. This book appears to be the story about how two halfling children embarked on some exciting adventures. Unfortunately, most of the pages have been ripped out of the book. The title of the story is Adventures of Jordo and Nappy. One day, Jordo and Nappy decided to have an exciting adventure and visit the far-off lands. Packing their bags, they told their moms what they were about to do. With a kiss to their forehead, both mothers gave the two boys their blessing. It wasn't too long after they began their journey that they were accosted by an orc. The orc told the two boys that they could not cross the bridge until they both told him a joke. If the joke wasn't funny, he would throw them off of the bridge into the water below. Below their feet was a lake filled with the deadliest fish ever seen in all of Mora. The lake boiled and bubbled with the fish anticipating their next meal. Jorbo started with a joke about why the duck crossed the lake. When he got to the punchline, the orc said he had heard that one before and took another drink from his jum-jum mug. Nappy knew if they were going to escape from this wild predicament, he would have to make up a joke no one ever heard before. He looked at the orc and said, "What does the farmer say when he can't find his rake?" The orc looked confused and said he didn't know. When Nappy gave the punchline, "Where's my rake?" the orc started laughing so hard he fell over into the lake. There you go. It's the funniest joke there is, pretty much. Now, let's see here. We're going to need corrupted bandits next. All right. That'll be something. We're gonna possibly have some trouble there. We'll see. Maybe we can find something else. All right. I am going to take off. It was a pleasure streaming with you guys as always, and I will do that. Should be back in a couple of hours, maybe a few hours, probably more like a few hours. But I will be back today if all goes well. So if you aren't following me yet, be sure to follow me and turn on notifications so that you can see when I go live. And I hope to see you then. That's all for now.